Right, on Campbell's Comments now. Hot to trot. Duncan McPherson, how are you, mate?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for the opportunity to have a chat. Always.
You and I can chat for a long time. I don't know how long this one will go. We will be finished before 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's for sure. We're actually here to talk about the Hambletonian Day, not the Hambletonian Day that we have here in Australia, and how big it is. And I was getting ready to get up in the morning and watch it sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock. You said to me it's going to be running about 10 past 4 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, 4:12 a.m. And hopefully at 4:14 there's an Australian flag flying at the Meadowlands.
And this is a great part. You've got a huge connection in this race this year. One, that must be super exciting.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's to have brought a stallion down here in Eileen Donnan who'd won a heat of it quite a few years ago, and then have the privilege of Aldebaran Eagle running in the final up there in 15, and then to have co-bred with Millstream Farm, which is a story on its own, but to have co-bred the second favourite in Sonofamistery, who's a Muscle Hill out of a mare we raced up there called Mystery Woman. To breed one and get to the top of the pile in American 3-year-old racing is outstanding, and something we're very excited and obviously very proud about.
How big? There'll be a lot of people watching this. How big is the Hambletonian? Like, it's a name you know, and the rest. I haven't been fortunate enough to travel to America and the likes. How big is this race on the world stage?
Behind the Elite Lop and the Prix de Marique, you'd probably find that this would be, and maybe the Breeders' Crown, but as far as stallion making races goes, this is the stallion making race of America. Like
the Caulfield Guineas in the thoroughbred sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you win this, you're pretty much guaranteed an opportunity to go to stud. And that's how the regard is, and you've got to be a very, very good horse to win it, and you've got to have a bit of luck on your side, like any race. But generally, you find that the winner of the Hambo is then somewhere at stud, whether he's in Europe or whether he's in the US, and then whether he's available down here, it's another story. But no, this is the race that everyone wants to win. This is the race that Orcas Funstead and all the Swedes try and win, and then that's the regard it's taken in. So. Yeah, it's in the top three as far as we're concerned. And if you ask me which races I'd like to win the Elite Lot, the Prix de Marique, and the Hambletonian. So we're in with a shot as far as a breed is concerned.
I encourage anyone, just once you finish watching this, get onto Google and just type in Hambletonian 2021. It's sensational what they do over there with their coverage. There's numerous amounts of videos and all the rest. Your horse, Sonofamistery, is a great one. Because the interviewer's driving a horse alongside while she's conducting the interview, which I love. I like people thinking outside the square. He looks a magic horse, like in appearance. He just looks a very, very strong, upstanding colt.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot as a 2-year-old, but he's Brian Sears has definitely got him back at top form as a 3-year-old, and he's posted the quickest time of all of them. He's gone 150.2. as a 3-year-old up there when he won the other week, and to do that and understand what that means is just, as I've been quoted, so it's mind blowing. But his mother went 151 and set the world record for 3-year-olds. So you've got to understand that there's as I always say, there's a genetic input there on the dam side, and then you roll it into Muscle Hill, who's the number one in the world, and why wouldn't this bloke go 150? In fact, he should go 149 at some point. And then really stamp himself.
Is that the expectations tomorrow, around that 150, 149 rate?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all out tomorrow. I mean, there's no holes barred, and it's just go from the moment the arms fold back is it's go button, and you've just got to be tough, and you've got to have a bit of luck. And it wouldn't surprise me if the track's good, then 49 and 50 is probably where they're going to be.
Yeah, I watched both the heats, and I think they're all having a red hot crack, but it's probably fair to say a couple took the easier path to the line. I think yours was one of those horses that didn't really get a clear run up the top of the lane, but he wasn't overly concerned because he was always going to qualify. Two $6 pops won both the heats, or 6-1, and I better be careful. I'm not sure how that works in America. It might be a bit different, but it obviously is a very open series this year.
Yeah, I mean, the pole horse, which is one of Orcus Farnstead's, is early market 7-2, and his other horse, Captain Corey's, at 3-1, and then we're third favourite at 4s, and the outsiders at 15s. So the reason that there's not a massive spread and you don't have 100-1 horses is because the quality of the animals, and to get to this race, you've got to be good, and the evenness of the field. Pretty much any horse could win on its day if it gets a bit of luck, and you've got to trot. First thing you've got to do is you've got to get off the arm. The second thing you've got to do is trot. And it's a fascinating race. And to have been there live in 15 when Eagle went round, it's just numbing to watch what the day's all about, and the regard that it's held in globally. And people from all around the world are there. I mean, whether we like it or not, the Swedes have all jumped on planes. They've got some permits. I spoke to the team at Manhammer, and their horse unfortunately galloped in the heat, but for them to get there for the final, it was consular level discussions and negotiations to get people across. So there are people from other parts of the world over there, and on its day, this is the number one race that's probably beamed out of America back into Europe. So we just need to understand how big it is.
And it's great to see two Australasian drivers, we'll say Australasians, in both Andy McCarthy and Dexter Dunn. And, and Dexter's caused a bit of, I suppose, controversy, because they reckon no one gets off an elimination winner. He's got off delayed Hanover to take the right drive on really fast, and it's sparked a bit of media controversy over there.
Let's just say Dexter wins a lot of races because Dexter's the best driver. So I'm sure that Dexter's not only looking after the owners and trainers' interests, but a little bit of self-interest maybe as well. So, but I mean, he's driven those horses and he knows the capability, and it's a tough decision when you've got to pick which one. And he's made his choice, and hopefully he's made the right choice for him personally. But to come out of 7, you've got to be humming into that first corner. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
I can't remember which horse it was. One of them, it was one of Anki's, might have been Delayed Hanover. The action on that horse is just something you've just got to watch. It's so tall, such a tall horse, and it just throws those legs out. It just looks brilliant to watch him. So I'm pretty sure it might have been he who led and won, and he just looks sensational.
Well, if you like Delayed Hanover, then we should be going to Southwind Frank, because his semen's available in the Southern Hemisphere. And the irony is that you've got 4 Muscle Hills in the final, and then you've got Southwind Frank, Creatine, Love You, and Trixton, and they're all available down here. The only 2 that we can't get down here that are represented in this race are Guga Gaga, which is Captain Corey, which is actually the pre-post favourite, and Chapter 7. And we haven't got either of those. But out of all the other horses that are in the final, out of 10, 8 of the horses are represented by Opportunity down here. So, if you're looking at where the gene lines and where the genetics are going, and they're represented at this level with Southwind Frank, Trixton, and the others, then there's some serious consideration got to be given to where you want to send your mares this year. It is, and I'm not plugging my own barrow. I mean, that's just the reality.
No, I agree, and it's one of the things I do a lot of things. I've been doing some stuff for Harness Breeders Victoria, and a lot of the semen that is now available, especially this year alone, I think there's 18 first season sires, and I reckon over half those are trotters, and some of the bloodlines are just sensational. Yeah.
Look, I mean, as I keep saying, and I mean, we can talk about the horses that we stand, for example. I mean, you've got Pink Galars, for example, has gone 54.3 on a 1,000-metre track. You've got, you've got the little filly up, Aldebaran Ursula. She set the Australasian record going 55.7 as a 2-year-old. I mean, these are the times on these sorts of tracks that genetically that's what they're doing up there. And I know for a fact, I mean, we've got a 2-year-old Chapter 7 filly up there. She's going down to the Red Mile, down to Kentucky in the next couple of days to qualify and then start to race. But the 2-year-old fillies up there are going 55 already, and we're only at the start at the front end of the year. But Ursula did exactly the same thing. So we're at that, as I keep saying, genetically we're right there with them. But to understand what the Hambletonian and what it does, that's what we've got to get to.
I'm tipping you're going to turn your camera back on for me in a second.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you're a good man. I'll go back a step for a start.
Yes.
Also on the day, and it's a great day of racing. There is a great pacing race. There's a couple of horses standing in Australia that won that as their last race in America. But the Hambletonian Oaks is also on that same day, and that is a key race as well for racing in. You're going good, Dunk. Racing.
Yeah, I'm going all right. You get Jim Connolly at the front door. You got to let him in.
But the Hambletonian Oaks is also it's not necessarily a sires producing race, but it is a key race on the American calendar as well. Like there's some really good races for the whole day, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the Hambletonians for the boys, and obviously the Oaks for the fillies. But again, to have a runner in that, you're at the pinnacle of the 3-year-old filly section, and as I've said probably earlier, if I haven't, Mystery Woman, who's the dam of Son of a Mystery, won a heat of the Hambletonian Oaks. So I guess it's 1 into 1 and you get 1. So it's a very important race for the studs, just as much for the girls as what it is for the boys. But the Hambletonian Oaks is a $500,000 filly race, and again, it's one of those races that if you've got a filly, that's the one you want to win. That and the Breeders' Crown in Canada, they're probably the 2 of the biggest races up there. So, but it's an action-packed day. I think there's 16 races at the Meadowlands, and this is the Hambletonian itself is race 15, and it's the pinnacle of the day and the grand final. So can't wait to watch it.
I am actually going to throw you under the bus because I didn't have a good look at the Oaks field, but something you don't see very often in America, Flawless Country is being driven by Aki Svenstedt. Is that his name?
Orcus Vanstedt.
Orcus Vanstedt. He trains it as well. Generally, they don't train and drive their own horses in America, do they?
He did a lot of training and driving of his own horses over in Sweden before he came across. But generally, you've got drivers in America that are professional drivers. But Orcus not. He is driving. He's down as driving Captain Corey in the Hambletonian itself. So he's as good a driver as any, and he has a vested interest in not only if he owns them, but looking after his owners. And in Sweden before he moved across, he was one of the number 1 trainers and drivers over there, and he's taken that to America when he moved, and he's getting the results accordingly.
Oh, absolutely. And I must say one other thing I was very proud of when I was watching these videos, and you will be too. The Campbells, mate, they rise to the fore for this race. I think they've won it 5 or 6 times as trainers alone.
Yes, but there's some good Campbells and some bad Campbells. So let's just leave it at that and say that the Campbells are coming. So that's probably a quote my father used to say, because all his horses were monikered with Campbell. So the Campbells are coming. So that's winding back the clock. But anyway, there you go.
I couldn't resist that one when I saw that. I thought I must bring this one up with Duncan. He'll like this. And I encourage people to go and watch them. As I said, there's one horse here. I don't know which one it is. They actually feed it a banana. They're not just showing these horses as far as race horses. If you go watch these videos and they're talking about them, they actually show a human side to some of these horses, and they're treated like rock stars over there. It is just they're great videos to watch. I think most of them are done by the US media, but they're just terrific. They're not high end or anything like that. They're just very, very well done.
Yeah, I mean they do make a big thing. I know when Aldebaran Eagle was in the finals. I mean the press were there, day in, day out in the lead up into the final day. And, the videos have been right through Europe. I mean, this is just, I don't think we understand. If you take the Melbourne Cup and then understand how much media the Melbourne Cup gets, and then convert that to to this day, and then convert that to what the European audience is looking at, that's about as big as, that gets your head around how big this thing is.
I saw a press release. I think there's 7 different ways you can watch and get access to it, not just TV, not 7 different televisions. The televisions are just one of those 7. It's just ridiculous. I think they got NBC and CNN are both on it, and then you got Facebook, so all your social media feeds as well. There's heaps of ways being able to watch it. Just very quickly.
And I mean, you've got to understand too, it is the 96th running of the Hambletonian. So you talk about history. This is the race that's steeped in history. That's why it's held in such regard as the one to win. So the 96th running. I mean, let's set up a pipe dream. Let's go and win the 100th. So there's something we can all have a crack at. It'd be outstanding.
Hopefully they can open borders. We can get across there even just to watch 97.
Yeah.
97 would be really, really good. But just quickly, Dunk, on the new racing season, and you watch the Americans and you watch the times and you talk about Aldebar and Ursula and the rest. You excited about the end of this season for us now with the reallocation, I suppose, of our racing season? We're going to be racing in warmer weather, which is more conducive to faster times, and also hopefully better climatic conditions, like for people to be able to get these horses in these Group 1 races. Are you excited about the end of the season and how it's going to look?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. I think from an attractive sports attraction point of view, we become we re-engage with the general community because they see us at the peak time. The middle of winter and those sorts of times are hard to attract people to come and watch the sport. I think that the new calendars and the realignment of the New Zealand calendars meant that we've got more mature age horses racing towards the back end of the year. I think that this year will be better than last because we've had 12 months to acclimatise to the realignment of the calendar, and the trainers have had a better adjustment with the younger horses and 2 and 3 year olds, particularly to get them ready to peak at the right time of the year. And we're very fortunate. I mean, it's getting to the stage now where it's a bit like America. You cannot win every feature race because there's a fair few of them. And to pick up one Group 1 is one thing, but the clean sweeps are gone, and I think that there's an opportunity for people both in pacing and trotting for a number of horses to win Group 1s across the spread of the last 3 months of the year.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Last weekend would have been Redwood weekend normally, and it's that wet and colder weekend it was here. It was just horrendous. So quality races like that don't deserve to be put on weekends like that, do they?
No, and I mean the derby's there as well.
Yeah,
Victoria
true.
Trotters
Yeah.
Derby. So I mean, let's give our participants an opportunity to enjoy what they do, and let's give the public an opportunity to actually get to the track and watch what the spectacle that we can put on. And if we can, continue to have advancement in the quality of the animal, the trainers and drivers should all take a bow as well. They're doing a wonderful job at producing these horses and driving these younger horses, and I think that the times that we're producing, whilst we don't want to get hung up on time all the time, I think that it's important to be able to then tell the rest of the world that we've got horses down in the Southern Hemisphere that can go 53, 54 on a mile track at 2 and 3, and then that then opens up the opportunities for other studs to import new and other semen alternatives that previously weren't available.
Yep.
And I can, as I've alluded to you earlier off there, there's some opportunities coming with Aldebaran Park for some major announcements with some alignments in Europe, and we're hoping to frank all that in the next 48 to 72 hours, and who knows? I mean, but this is only coming about because of the way they view the opportunities that are down here, and it's a market where organisations want to get involved, and I think that without stealing Maddie Craven's moniker, get involved, it's very important to understand that we're not regarded as the backwater anymore, and with $1 million of prize money with the Aurora Australis Trotting Series that Harness Racing Victoria are promoting, coupled with the New Zealand calendar and the New South Wales calendar, we're certainly, once the borders open, we are the destination of where people are going to want to try and bring some quality horses down here. And I think that the gene pool will only get better because we'll be able to retain those stallions when they come here and put them into our own market. And I think that's going to be a really exciting time.
The other part about all this, and I didn't want to go this way because we want to promote the Hambletonian very quickly though, is the Queensland Carnival, how it fitted in. One, for the paces, it fitted in beautifully, and again, a destination place for people to go the depths of winter to get up there in Queensland. But how well the trotters, I suppose, not only as far as prize money and the races put on, but the spectacle that the trotters put on every night as well was just breathtaking up there in Queensland. It's just another little nursery of trotters that you can see growing and growing very quickly.
Oh, well, I mean, as we know, the fastest growing herd population in the world as far as trotters goes is in Australia. And there's been a lot of articles written even in the last 2 or 3 weeks about the improvement of the trotter and the open class ranks. And I mean, you've only got to look at the Lightfoot Laurels that's on at Melton with the mares that are in that race. I mean, 5 years ago we might have struggled to get a quality field. I mean, now you've got a field of quality mares, and you've got up and coming mares and 3 and 4 year olds that aren't seasoned enough to go in this sort of race at the moment. But we're going ahead in leaps and bounds. And you take the DJA series up in Queensland, and people can travel and they can go up there, and as you say, they can have a bit of a sojourn and a bit of a break out of the Melbourne winter. And I think it's very smart marketing and advertising to have that sort of a series available to people to travel, whether they be from New South Wales. Ricky Elchin took Tough Monarch, Maddie Craven took Pink Galahs, and you've got quality horses, Group 1 horses prepared to travel, and credit to those trainers and credit to the owners to fund those activities. But that just goes to show what can be done if you're fair income about promoting opportunity and not having calendar clashes, as we call them. And it was a great example of what the trotters can do in the Southern Hemisphere. There's no doubt about that. And
knowing Queensland, they won't be sitting on their laurels. They'll be building bigger and better.
And I think it's just one other thing I think it's important to know. The DJA series was the stand start series, and I think it's important, and I know we all love mobile racing, but I think there is definitely a place, as was proven in that series up in Queensland, where handicaps and stand starts are there, and perhaps some of our Harness Racing Victoria might think about having some of our country cups going back to stand start racing, because the handicapping and the betting and the turnover, I would suggest, was greater and of more interest to the general population than straight out mobile racing with short price favourites.
Pink Galahs would have started odds on in most of those. So from Aldebaran Park, you say, well, that's great because she's Sky Valley, she just trots away and wins. But that standing start, she still won them. But it threw that element of doubt in there because, basically if Maddie had a horse come around the outside of him early on when she wasn't balanced, she could go off stride, and that just changes it up so much. And then it showcases Maddie Craven's skill as a driver, his honesty too, because he said he got it wrong, and Brian corrected him. He didn't get it wrong in the final.
Yeah, but I mean, the philosophy of what they do up there, I think it created a better heat and better final spectacle, and it gave us some variety, and it showcased what we can do. We can mobile race them, and we can have stand start interest. So anyway, I just throw that in because I think it's something that perhaps could be pursued a bit more, and handicap racing is something that we don't do a lot of, and perhaps it gives other horses an opportunity at the same time.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of other things going on with the trotters. Some horses are going to hopefully travel to America if they get their form, and that's going backwards and forwards. But we are going to sit back and watch the $1 million Hambletonian at 4:10. I'll get up, don't you worry about it. I actually might still be awake, but I will get up and watch it, and I will be barracking for Sonofamistery coming out of, what do they call it?
Gate 6.
Gate 6, they call it something else, don't they? But anyway, that doesn't matter. It is a tricky draw, though, I know that, because that is behind the arm, and most of the trotters don't get off very quick when they're behind the mobile. So I have noticed that part, but you got to be in it to win it, mate, that's for sure, and you're definitely halfway there, you're in it, so now you just got to win it.
Yeah, so, it's exciting. I know Christine up in the US, where she's the co-owner and breeder with Millstream Farm, and there's a good story there. I mean, Christine's the daughter of Claudine Cohn, and Claudine Cohn was the breeder of Kai Valley Blur, and it just so happens that Jim Connolly's wandered in. But I mean, there's a long-standing connection between Millstream Farm and Aldebaran Park. That's where all our mares have always stood. Unfortunately, Claudine passed away, which has been well written about. The Angel and the Mystery Heart. So there's some articles online if people want to go and have a look and Google, as you say, Hambletonian, and have a read. But Christine's excited, and for us to have met those people, 12 years ago, and then to co-breed a runner in the $1 million final is just so exciting. And I wish Christine, and I hope Claudine's looking down, and as I said in an article during the week, may the wind be at his back, and may the wings be on his hooves, because that's exactly how Claudine would have liked it. So fingers crossed all round, and at 4:12 they start, and hopefully at 4:14 or 1 minute and 51 seconds later, there's a popping of a champagne cork somewhere in the world for Australia.
They're notoriously late, though. I reckon I could get out of bed at 6 o'clock and they might be just starting to get to the barrier.
I'll leave. That's at your peril, I can assure you.
On HRA, a bit remiss too, because there's a couple of good articles being put up just recently about it as well. So make sure you go there first, and then do your Google and watch these video uploads and that as they go. Correct. So, there's some really good articles on that. Dunk, thank you very much. I could talk to you forever and a day.
Yep.
You can tell Jim that he made a cameo. Everyone will see him as he walked past. He'd be like,
No, that's all right. He's larger than life. We're always comparing notes, and Jim's had a great run with his breed over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we've had a pretty good run at Aldebaran Park. So we'll do some note comparing very shortly, and savour the wins, but look forward to some greater opportunities as they present themselves. So, yeah, as I say, tomorrow morning, it's a dream, and if the dream comes off, well, then it's just something you don't think of. So anyway, all exciting. Let's see how we go. And as we always say, we're hot to trot at Aldebaran Park.
You are very quickly. Will it be on Sky Channel?
Should be.
Yep.
Should be. I can't confirm it, but I do have a penance for getting up early and watching racing from the Meadowlands on Sky Racing 2, and Sky Racing 1. So I would suggest it's highly likely. If not, I'm sure that there's some live streaming coming out of America, and if we Google Hambletonian live stream, I'm sure we'll be able to find it.
Either that or the Meadowlands track, I think, is the way.
Yeah, Meadowlands will do it live. Yep. The Big M, if you go Google
that's it.
Yep. Google Big M, and then you'll be able to get a video live stream coming out of the Big M Meadowlands, particularly tomorrow.
No, good as gold. Duncan McPherson, thank you very much, mate. I appreciate the chat. Good luck.
Thank you.
I hope you get the chockies, honestly. Good luck to anyone else that's there. If you don't, Andy McCarthy and Dexter.
I don't mind if it's a New Zealand boy gets up, but look, there's Australian and New Zealand interest, and I mean that's what it's about. We're internationalising and globalising the sport, and this is just another chapter of that process.
Good as gold. Duncan McPherson, thank you, mate.
Good on you. Thank you.